Charnell, and who I have with me, a special guest. I have Mike The Chaplain. I had to pull this young man because one thing, if I'm not mistaken, Mike, are you from the Bronx, New
Yes,
York
I am
City?
from the Bronx. Yes, ma'am.
And see, that's where I'm from. So the Bronx folk, we have to pull on, tug on, because I
Yeah,
have to ask you. I know how the Bronx is. I'm a millennial, so I'm from that time.
yeah.
You got to tell me what. How did you become a chaplain?
Well, first of all, becoming a chaplain, for those that do not know,
Hmm.
chaplaincy or the chaplain, that's for more so the secular world. Pastor is more for the sacred world, but
Hmm.
chaplaincy deals with bringing Christ to each crisis, and it also deals with presence ministry. Most people, when they attain their chaplaincy, it may be through, let's just say, law enforcement, which I got mines in, right? But
Hmm.
also, it deals with chaplaincy, may deal with nursing homes, hospitals,
Hmm.
hospice, right?
Hmm.
Any place where there's a major need
Hmm.
for someone to show up and be there for someone else in their crisis. So that's how you become a chaplain. You can definitely, there are courses online, you can do that. But I more so felt like a spiritual pull in that direction, of course, with the pastoring as well and
Hmm.
ministering the gospel as well, that affords me the opportunity to basically reach a different demographic of people.
Oh, good. So what? How old were you when you first
Um,
started turning towards God?
Well, I've always literally, honestly, and I know, people, have their own personal stories, but for me, I was born
Hmm.
and raised in church and I knew God at an early age. I had a relationship with God in my early age. So I remember going full throttle in my purpose of what I knew it to be at the age of
Hmm.
8 years old.
Oh, wow. So you started singing like the praise team and in the choirs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
Yes.
so that
Yes.
was your first love.
Yeah, like
Cause it's
my first love, absolutely. Being born and raised in the church, my mom at the time, we went to Emmanuel Pentecostal Faith Church,
hmm.
and she was the youth lead choir director. So
Oh,
but
wow.
then there was the children's choir director. So she was over the young
Hmm.
adults choir, right? But
Hmm.
I would always show up to shout out to Keisha Brandon, definitely. She was the children's choir director at the time in Emmanuel Pentecostal Faith Church. Shout out to my brother Michael Brandon as well.
Hmm.
So then we moved on at the age of 8. My mom went under another leadership by the church was named Faith Temple at the time, and
Hmm.
my late bishop, whose name is Michelle White Haynes, took me under her wing. Shout out to Carol Moore, who was also on over the children's choir, and then I moved up from the children's choir to the youth choir,
Hmm.
under
Hmm.
which was called Judah. Shout out to Stephen Soup White, who was over that, and then from that point on, merged up to the mass choir and praise team and all
Yeah.
of those.
Hmm. Yeah. So I know exactly what you're talking about because you reminded me of my choir days, the praise and worship back in the day. My pastor, my phone is my aunt. We come from the storefront church.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
The
yeah,
little
yeah, yeah.
small church. We
Hmm.
moved from New York down to the south in
Hmm.
North Carolina, and so we had to go and do testimony service,
Mm.
devotional service. So
Yeah.
that type of church, you had to operate in different areas to help out.
Mm.
So it sounds like to me, you're from a child, all you've done is music. So I mean, even if your mother was a choir director, even at home, she probably had you rehearse.
Absolutely. I was I was definitely in all choir practices. I was in
Mm-hmm.
the band in school, the choir in school. I went to Truman High School, so definitely
Mm-hmm.
was doing that, building groups there, and all of that, all of it.
So that's amazing. That's how you got into producing.
Yeah.
Because I did see you produce your own music. Did you write
Yes.
your song? Because the
Yes.
song that's running up right now is called Run One.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how did you got to tell me some background about that? Did you write that song? Where did that concept come from?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, give a shout out to my late grandmother who just passed.
No.
And we literally, I remember, first of all, meeting Talasia at um, in Vegas when we definitely was the Stellar Weekend. And
Mm-hmm.
shout out to Carlos Hayes. Um, Definitely, it was we was at his event, and shout out to Martin who actually brought me and Talasia together as two artists to collab. And I saw what she did. She was an amazing artist. She's an amazing artist. As well as having a relationship with my brother Martin. I trust him, and
Mm-hmm.
she definitely was amazing. We started to dialogue and started to build, and Run really just came from a place of there being an urgency for us to be about our Father's business. It
Mm-hmm.
was an urgency of literally, like, with everything that's going on in the world, with all of the chaos, with all of the indecisions that our government, the world is going through all of the travesty that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
What's most important is we remember that God has created us for a specific purpose, and
Right.
that is
Right.
to love, to care for others, but
Mm-hmm.
also, more importantly, to share the good news about Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Whether we're in the workplace, whether in our personal spaces, we're supposed to share the good news. And when you have a heart to do so, you understand the effects of sharing the good news. So when we wrote the song, definitely it expressed our excitement, but also our passion about really getting to what God has called us to do.
Okay. So you wrote the song together.
Yes, I wrote my
Oh, okay.
verse. I wrote my verse. I wrote the chorus. Co-produced it. Shout out to King Sis, who also was the one that produced on the record as
Oh,
well.
that's
Um,
good.
and definitely, yeah. And she did her verse, and I was just grateful that we brought, I believe, a masterpiece that people can, grab some seeds from
Mm-hmm.
that.
Okay. Now you have your own studio, correct?
Yes, yes.
Now, is it in New York City or?
No, no, no. So right now, because I'm from New York, but I
Mm-hmm.
live out in Florida now.
Smart.
So
A lot of the Northerners moved to the South.
yes,
So
you
yeah.
already yes. So I'm no longer there. I haven't been in New York since about 3 years now,
Okay.
um, and it has definitely been a journey, different in culture, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and I've embraced the good, the bad,
Mm-hmm.
but most importantly, I cannot complain about what God has done and the
Right.
doors that God has opened because of this move.
Right. Right. And so I do know that you are performing at the Soul Wars the pre-show.
Yes,
So I know we're going to be looking forward to hearing you and seeing you. I hope you're not nervous. I know you have a
no,
lot of experience, but I hope you're not nervous.
absolutely.
Uh,
I can't, and I say this humbly. I believe for me, I've gone through too much to be nervous.
oh, that's good. Yeah,
I like when I
that's
think
good.
of, and we may go through those nervous spaces, but it's like, really,
Mm-hmm.
like you get to a point where it's like, okay, I've been through too much to be afraid. I'm here to make change, to impact change, leave
Right.
seeds and move.
Right. Right. So is there any other upcoming singles or music that you're currently working on that we can be on the
Absolutely,
lookout for?
absolutely. Shout out to my brother Cole Campbell, and a great producer by the name of Colin Dunkley, um, who's over Colonized Music. We got a song called Every Time.
Mm.
That's definitely we're about to push full throttle. Of course, we got some more music coming. Home is resurging. My single Home
Mm-hmm.
is
Mm-hmm.
resurging. I'm excited about that. Got a new feature on that. Shout out to Elijah Daniels, who's my brother. They're from a different mother, Caucasian
Mm-hmm.
brother, and he's powerful, anointed, all of that stuff. I got some more music coming with my brother Robert Curry of Day 26, some gospel music. And of course, me and Talaja, we're definitely still cooking, and she's doing her thing. And we're going to be doing some more stuff in the near future. So right now, outside of acting, outside of producing,
Mm-hmm.
there are a lot of things that are on the horizons. Shout out to Kingdom Life International Church, that is also where I'm based out of. Shout out to Kenneth and Lynette Estrada, who is two amazing pastors who have the
Hmm.
heart of God, and definitely looking to build the kingdom of God over out here in Kissimmee, Florida.
Oh wow. Yeah, it's like you have your hands full this
Yeah.
year. You're gonna definitely be busy. But you still make room to minister to the
Yes.
youth, I'm sure, in your church, right?
Yes. Absolutely. So with that being said, like anytime there are opportunities to where I get called, listen, I need you to do this for the youth, or I
Mm-hmm.
need you to come out to Atlanta to do this. I need you to, I'm definitely always open and available. I do have children, three daughters that which I take care
Mm-hmm.
of. So it's very important that I balance that. But I'm super grateful that I get the opportunity to make deposits into
Mm-hmm.
youth, into young people, to let them know that these are the times in which you really need to be serious about where you're going, be serious about your relationship with God,
Right.
be serious about your skill sets, all of those practical things. Be serious about school, learning,
Mm-hmm.
be serious about being aware of where the state of the world is, because the world we came up out of is not the world we're in today. And because the
Exactly.
world is ever changing, we have to be able to manage our gifts, manage our lives more responsibly. And we can only do it by the grace, the mercy of God.
Exactly. Take the mercy in God everywhere you go. Because
Everywhere.
I mean,
Yeah,
it is so clear that we know the second coming of Christ is near. Because,
absolutely.
like you said
Absolutely.
earlier, you watch everything that's going on in the government and the news. It's like you just shake your head, like you're like, what in the world is going on?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Ooh, well, I want to thank you so much for taking time out to talk with me.
Thank you. Thank
Ladies
you.
and gentlemen, this is Mike the Chaplain. He will be performing at the Soar Awards pre-show. Watch him
Yes.
there. Get your tickets if you haven't already. And then also check him out on Instagram and then also his music as well. All
Yes,
right.
please do so. Please do so. And give a shout out to Martin Christie. Thank you so much, Veronica, for having me. Shout out to
Mhm.
IJF Management. Pamela, I appreciate all of you guys. You guys are amazing. And of course, Derek Huggins, man. He's a
Oh, yeah.
major blessing, man. Definitely a major blessing, man. I'm learning a lot from him
Hmm.
and other people. So yes, thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much, Mike. Let me